Okay, you know how this story starts.
This is the world of the shooter. On the surface, it's pretty simple. Oh no, there's a monster. Aim at the monster. Shoot at the monster. Yay, the monster is dead. Move on. But wait, let's go back. Okay, so this is the realm of the shooter. Pretty empty, right? Let's add an enemy. Okay, let's shoot. This, more or less, is what people say shooters are. Locate an enemy, point, click, kill. The idea is that shooters aren't really smart games for smart people. But that's something of a mistake. A lot more goes into making a good shooter than just pointing and clicking at things. Heck, we could reduce XCOM here to the same thing. Think back to the clip we just saw. As the enemy engaged us, we had to move around horizontally and vertically in order to dodge enemy fire and beat him. You might be thinking I'm Captain Obvious right now, but the average person breaks shooting down to point, shoot, and kill, and that's not what's happening here. Instead, what we have is a game about tension between two opposing sides within a 3D space. Both sides can perform actions which are ultimately designed to manipulate each other into a state in which they can be killed. In other words, a shooter isn't about pointing, shooting, and clicking, it's a game about manipulation. In a shooter, players move in 6 basic directions: up, down, side to side, front to back. They can combine this with look to pull off more advanced tactics like strafing or wall running. But let's not forget about the enemies. I can't create my own AI, so I'm just going to grab an example to show what I mean. In Halo, enemies have various behaviors beyond simply shooting. They throw grenades, dodge from grenades thrown at them, panic when their leaders are taken out, have regenerating shields, and a bunch of other abilities that create a tactical, engaging experience. Depending on what weapons, areas, difficulty levels, and enemy types you're facing, you can encounter a whole host of combat situations that test your strategic mettle. This is a simplistic overview of the genre, of course. Some shooters introduce distinct mechanics like Fear's bullet time, Wolfenstein's parallel realities, SWAT's non-lethal weaponry, or Titanfall's wall running that add new ways of thinking through solutions. The shooter is seen as dumb because it's easy to pick up and play, but I see shooters differently. I see them as the ultimate means of self-expression in video games. Sure, I can, without thinking, brute force my way through the experience, but that's not what makes shooters special. A long time ago, I got really sick. It's a complex issue, but the short version is that I felt like I was dying. No one really understood what was going on, and I gave up. Imagine a cancer patient finally just deciding not to get out of bed and go get chemo or anything. That was me. I was ready to let the illness eat me up and take my life. Thing was, there was this Ukrainian-made shooter called STALKER, based on a Tarkovsky movie of the same name. It was a brutal experience. Half the time, just walking across the map could result in a game-ending crash. Then there was the game itself. It was unrelenting, even sadistic at times. It felt impossible, but something drew me onward, something made me fight. Playing the game changed the way I thought about the world. I could take on any challenge and win, and that, I think, is possible only because the shooter put me, that's me, not any other character, in the game world and forced me to fight or die. When that happened, everything about the way I viewed the real world changed. I started fighting. I ended up surviving. Without STALKER, I'm not sure I could have survived. It let me be the person I really was. It gave me hope, and it let me survive. When I think of shooters, I think of potential. I think of how I could be anyone, from a rogue, free-running messenger to an Air Force astronaut undergoing a siege from hostile forces. I think of the opportunities that the genre provides, and it blows me away. There's more going on than simply just pointing and clicking at things, and to deny that denies us that same potential. Personally, I can't wait for what comes next. I know I'll get something remarkable out of it.